But let's have some clarity over some of the facts here. The UK offers safety to far fewer refugees per capita than the average European country, including France and Germany.
Well, hello there, and I do hope you're all well. Yes, I know this is still back on Monday's second reading of Suella Braverman's second reading of illegal immigration bill. You know, I think the word illegal sums it up beautifully because, let's be honest, it's illegal, isn't it? But anyway, yesterday I posted Alison Thewliss' fantastic video, and as I was just reading through the wonderful comments below, somebody took issue with me. I think you're all just generally light-hearted, said, no, I think you'll find it was Dr. Caroline Lucas's speech. Without further ado, because I knew she'd had a barnstormer, so today let's watch through Caroline Lucas absolutely rip to shreds Blabbermouth's illegal bill literally to bits.
This is an immoral and deeply cruel and divisive bill. It's one that breaks international law, it runs roughshod over human rights, and it shames us all. And I'd argue it shames especially those ministers who are deliberately and dangerously stirring up hatred with their vile and dehumanising language. So I am pleased to associate myself with the reasoned amendment in the name of the Honourable Member for Streatham. But let's have some clarity over some of the facts here. The UK offers safety to far fewer refugees per capita than the average European country, including France and Germany, and far, far fewer than the countries neighbouring those from the 70% of refugees from the global south have fled. And behind the numbers and the statistics are real people, with lives and hopes and families and dreams. In the words of the British Somali poet Warsan Shire, no one puts their children in a boat unless the water is safer than the land, unless home is the mouth of a shark or the barrel of a gun. And the bottom line is this, that far too often there are no other routes available to those fleeing violence and persecution, many of whom have family here that they want to be reunited with. Locking them up is beyond cruel. The UN High Commissioner on Refugees has warned that this bill would amount to an asylum ban. Yet ministers simply don't care. They're even coming up with new ways to circumvent international law. The bill explicitly gives them the authority to ignore future interim ECHR rulings. So even if a case were lodged in Strasbourg, they could still press on with detaining and criminalising asylum seekers while the courts are deciding. That is a process that could take up to 3 years. But you know, this government doesn't care whether the policy works. That's not what it's about. It's about dividing and ruling. It's about stoking those cultural wars. It's about picking a fight with the European Court of Human Rights for cynical electoral gain. It certainly doesn't care about the human beings caught in the crossfire. If it seriously wanted to protect the lives at risk from small boat crossings, then it would back, for example, more generous family reunification rights, and it would support safe and functioning routes. I have a constituent whose wife and daughters are stranded in Turkey, having fled Afghanistan in August 2021. They don't have the documents to apply for a family visa. They aren't eligible for the ACRS. They've played by the rules for the past 18 months, and they are desperate enough to consider crossing the channel to be reunited. And yet government ministers have not lifted one single finger to help. And even those who are eligible for the ACRS can't make it work. Not one Afghan has come to the UK via Pathway 3 of the ACRS regime since it opened in June last year. Madam Deputy Speaker, the Home Secretary on the face of this bill invites Parliament to rip up international law. The only act of a Parliament that has some kind of moral integrity is to rip up her illegal and immoral bill, which has no place on our statute book.
Caroline Lucas, she's just absolutely brilliant. People like Alison Thewliss and even Caroline Lucas, this term that springs to mind, there is far too many people in Parliament who tell us what we want to hear, and there's not enough of people like them, Caroline Lucas and Alison Thewliss, who tell us what we need to hear. I just think it's a crying shame. I think the world of Caroline Lucas. I love her passion, just like Alison Thewliss, and so I'm not going to say which one I thought was best. I have my own thoughts, but more importantly, what's yours? Which was best? You let me know what you guys think. And no falling out either. Only kidding. I just thought she was brilliant. So I'll leave the video here before I prattle on even more. And until the next time, I shall bid you farewell and take care, my friends.